Hi pioneers, great that you're here. In this lecture we'll talk about some off-chain code using Kuber. Without further ado, let's get into it. To start off, we'll take a look at the Kuber GitHub repository. As mentioned in the About section, we see that Kuber is a Haskell library and JSON API for composing Cardano transactions and working with the off-chain side of the Cardano blockchain. In short, this means that it tries to achieve a high-level interface for constructing transactions. In contrast to the Cardano client, where we specify precisely how a transaction is constructed, in Kuber we can achieve the same in a declarative way. And the Kuber backend will do the heavy lifting of balancing the transaction for us. You can build and run Kuber yourself by following the instructions in the README, or you can use an open API endpoint, for example, that Demeter exposes if you do not want to install it. In this lecture, we'll go a step further and use the Kuber playground to get us started without installing anything. That is located here. The Kuber API itself expects JSON formatted queries that are constructed using a set of keys described in their JSON API reference. In here, you will find all keys and value pairs that you can use to declare your transactions. To showcase this, we will not introduce any new on-chain code, but use the Kuber playground together with the vesting example of last week. So, to open playground, we click here. This playground is a front end for interacting with the Kuber API. In it, we can construct and edit JSON queries in this box. We also can run these queries easily via this button, Run. This Run button will send the JSON query to Kuber, which will auto-balance it and then send it back for signing. After that, this nice front end will prompt our wallet that we can choose up here so that we can sign it. In essence, with this playground, we have a nice interface for interacting and testing our contract without the need of installing a full node. So let's see it in action. To start with a little recap, we'll consider what the contract was. In the previous week, we had the vesting example that had the following validator. Given this datum that contained a beneficiary and a deadline with a public key hash and a POSIX time, the script would validate if the transaction was signed by the beneficiary and if the deadline has passed. To use Kuber, we first need to create such a datum that we can use with our public key of our wallet. To do that, we'll go into a Cabal REPL of week 3. In it, we'll set some things. First, we'll set overloaded strings so that we can copy and paste strings to be interpreted as byte strings. Next, we'll import our utilities. Also, we'll import the Plutus v2 ledger API, which contains the public key hash, and we also import the vesting example. And because I find my prompt too cluttered, I set my prompt to this so that it's clean. So to start, we want to wrap something in this vesting datum, and we can then use the print vesting datum to get this in JSON format. This function takes in a public key hash and a string, which is the time, and it returns or it prints the datum in JSON form as a result. So first let's get our public key hash, and we can use Kuber for that, because if we click on address, we can decompose addresses, and specifically we can use our own address and add it here. So if you press decompose, we get our key hash or our public key hash, which we can use in our script. Note that this is in hexadecimal. And due to it being in hexadecimal, we need to convert that first to a byte string. And in the utilities module, there's a conversion function called bytes from hex, which will decode the hex value to the corresponding byte string. So to use that, I'm gonna define pkh as the public key hash. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap the public key hash. And note that this public key hash actually needs a built-in byte string. So because this conversion will return a byte string, we actually need to use two built-in. And then we can use our bytes from hex and paste our public key hash we retrieved from Kuber, or the playground. So if we print that, it indeed gives the same. And if we check which type it has, it's a public key hash. Next, we want to print the vesting datum as a JSON with our public key hash, and we want to consider a deadline. And the deadline that we're gonna pick is something in the past, so that I don't have to wait to claim the funds. So I'm just gonna pick the 18th or the 19th, that's okay as well. And the time that I'm gonna pick is just only zeros. And if I press enter, we get the JSON value of our datum that we can use in the playground. So let's copy that. Now that we have the datum, we can set up a transaction. And to do that, we're gonna first look at the JSON API reference of Kuber, because these are the main options you have to construct transactions. First, we have selections, which let us choose which address or UTXOs can be used to balance the transactions. For example, we can set an address of our Nami wallet, and then Kuber will only include inputs from that address to balance the transaction. We can also force inputs specifically, for example, inputs from a contract that we want to spend with this key. We can also use reference inputs, we can set outputs, we can specifically set collateral, we can set the validity interval of our transaction, we can mint things, we can add specific signatures because some transactions do need that. We can specify the fee, and if we omit certain things, then Kuber will interpret it as not necessary. And of course, we can also add a change address specifically or metadata. And in general, if something is omitted, Kuber will fill in the blanks. So let's do a transaction that sends something to our script address. So let's delete this. We're going to start off with a selection. And in it, we'll state where Kuber can retrieve funds to auto-balance the transaction. And what we're going to add there is our Nami wallet. And let's also set this to Nami, just to be sure. So that was the first thing. And let's also add a comma at the end of it, because it has to be a valid JSON. Next, we want to specify to Kuber that we want to create an output somewhere. So what we do is we set a key output. And an output contains a set of UTXOs. And in this transaction, we're only going to create one UTXO, but we could add more to it. So one UTXO we can specify as the following. Of course, a UTXO has a destination, an address. So the following flag that we add is an address. And the address that we send it to is actually the address of our script. And to retrieve that, we can actually go back to the container, and we can do Cardano client address build testnet magic 2, and then we have to provide a payment script file. And note that in the assets folder, the vesting.plutus is the script that is associated to this validator above. So what we do is we do week 3 assets, and then vesting Plutus. And what we get back, if we parse it correctly, is the address of our script. So let's copy that. And let's add it here. Besides an address for the destination, we also want to add a value to that address, or we want to send something. So what we add next in the description of our transaction is the value that we send. And for our vesting, let's vest, for example, 100 ADA. Then we also have to provide a datum because, our script uses that. And the datum that we're going to provide is actually the thing that we had above here. So let's copy that again. So that's the datum we just added. It's not nicely parsed, but this is correct. This is a correct JSON. And this is actually the only thing we need to specify for our transaction to success. So what Kuber will do, it will create a transaction with an output at this address, with this value and this datum, and it will pay for all the fees and inputs from this address. And if we now press run, it will prompt our Nami wallet, and you see that we lose 100 ADA and some fees, and we sign it. And what we get back from the outputs of this run is the transaction hash of the just created transaction. So if we copy that and go to CX Explorer, let's go to the pre-production because that's the network I am on. And we enter the transaction hash. We see that 20 seconds ago, the output was created with 100 ADA at the script address. Also note that the datum is actually inline. As stated before, by default, Kuber will add things inline, and we can see that our datum that we specified is there. Next, we want to retrieve the datum, and we want to claim the vested funds, namely this 100 ADA. To do that, we actually need the output related to this 100 ADA. And that is indexed by TX outref, which is actually the hash of the transaction, which we already have. So that's this one. So let's keep that in our mind. So we're going to create a new transaction that spans that. And to do that, we create a new JSON. Well, let's not delete everything because we actually need some things. For example, we need the selection again. And now we do not create an output, but we get an input that we need. And the input that we need is a certain UTXO, which is again a value. And that UTXO has, of course, a index. And that index is given by this value, the transaction hash that produced it, plus some additional value, namely the index of with respect to all the outputs. So if we again look at the transaction, it had two outputs, and this is the first output and this is the second output. So this is actually index 0, this is index 1. So let's add a 0 there. Then we also need to provide something else to claim this UTXO, namely the script that locks the UTXO. And we see that the playground automatically tries to suggest what we should enter next. So the script that we use, we can retrieve from here, because that is just this value. So we add that, and we again put a comma. And then there's one last thing you need to add, and that is the redeemer. Note that it also suggested a datum, but since our datum was inline, we do not have to specify it in this. Yeah, we do have to specify it in the transaction that it's there, but Kuber will automatically resolve it. So we only need the redeemer, and since our script doesn't actually care about the redeemer, because if we look at it, the redeemer is not used, we can add a trivial redeemer. For example, a new object with constructor 0 and with empty fields. And this is now a fully specified transaction which claims this input, this UTXO, with that script, and it pays for the fees with our wallet. So if you press run, oh, it gets an error, and that's indeed correct, because we actually need to specify something, because Kuber doesn't know that this script needs a signature. Because remember, we specified that it needs the signature of the public key hash, and actually Kuber gave that error. And how we can resolve that, in the transaction we can specify that a certain signature is needed to comply or to be valid. So we can add signatures, and we can add our own address. So now Kuber knows that our address should also sign the transaction. And I'm going to try it again, but I know that it's going to fail. And we see that the deadline has not reached, and that's because we didn't specify a validity interval. And by default, the validity interval might be from -infinity to +infinity, which will overlap incorrectly with the condition of deadline reached, because this will check if this deadline is contained in this txinfo valid range. So if you do not specify that correctly, it might fail. So to do that in Kuber, you can actually add validity start and validity end. And if we look at the API reference, the validity start needs a POSIX timestamp in seconds, and the end the same, but then also in seconds. But note that in general, in our datum that we used, this one, this timestamp is in milliseconds, so it's different. So to get the current time, I go to this website, which prompts me the current time in seconds, and I can copy that so that we can use that. So I'll just copy that there, and I will subtract 100 seconds, and to the end I will add 1,000 seconds. So now the validity interval is from this point minus 100 seconds and plus 1,000 seconds, so that's still valid if it's sent to the network. And if you press run now, it will prompt Nami. It will say that we get 100 ADA minus the fees, of course. And we can sign that. And we again get a transaction hash back. So we copy that and go to the Explorer. Let's go to this one. And we add the hash there and press enter. We see that 14 seconds ago, we claimed the 100 ADA with the inline datum and with the redeemer that we just specified. Oh, we cannot see it there. And we send it back to our own address. Just to recap, what we just saw is a simple interaction with the Kuber playground that utilizes the API of Kuber to create simple transactions to interact with the Cardano blockchain. In this playground, we leverage the Kuber API, but it's not necessary to use the playground in your application. For example, what you could do is write a front end that queries the API to balance the transaction so that you can have an own interface and program what and how transactions are built. But you can still use the declarative nature of this JSON format in your transaction building. I hope you liked this video.